It's Law Nation. Let's go. As we continue to grind and shine, be sure to smash upon the like button. Let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Plenty of options to spring forward this team. Come on. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Salute to you and you. And I really appreciate you all. Come on. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. Yeah. But what about a Law Nation groove? Hey, ho, hey, ho. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn me up just a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. All right. Appreciate you all for tuning in. This episode will be talking about some of the options that we have at the 26th spot. Now, granted, the Cowboys brought in a lot of guys. They've been putting in a lot of work during the offseason. And, of course, this season is a little bit different from where we were last year because we only had the hopes of James, y'all say it with me, Washington, right? And not to just beat him up. There were some other things, some uncertainty with the fact that you got rid of Amari Cooper. I'm talking about last year within the confines of that. And we were talking about, hey, let's bring forth attitude. Let's bring forth the mentality to be a little bit more physical, right? So heading into this draft now, we solidified some of that, especially with my guy Tyler Smith, who was supposed to be drafted last season to play guard, but we seen the injuries that came and they had a impact on this team, regardless of how we was sad, but it was a crazy one, right? So it was a situation and scenario that Tyron Smith went down. Yep, he went down. Let me hear. He went down, right? So now it was a situation whereas the guy that you drafted, maybe you slide him at left tackle, and there was Matt Walesko, and he couldn't stand firm because of his shoulder situation. So it was Tyler Smith, right? And we had to elevate Connor McGovern as that left guard. And now we're back in some of the same areas, right? We are similar in the aspect of now you got Terrence Steele, who's hurt, so there's uncertainty with him. Will he be ready week 1? I can tell you right now, as hair is on my face, that probably he would not be 100% week 1. So earlier this morning, we talked about this guy by the name of Darnell, not Washington. Right. They're going to meet with him. He is a left tackle / right tackle capabilities, and he can bring you some of that to the table. But here's the thing, though, Cowboy Nation. Would you draft him early, or would you kind of sit back and say, you know what, with the 26th pick, let's go BPA? And if the BPA is wide receiver, do you do that? If the BPA is wide receiver, would you do that? Let me repeat. If the BPA is wide receiver, would you do that? Shout out to you, Cowboy Fan 95. Appreciate you. So now the Cowboys are in that space, whereas my philosophy may not be theirs, right? Because I can look at this and say the Cowboys should draft from the inside and work their way out. But truth be told, that they bringing in wide receivers, they're looking at running backs, they're looking at guards, tackles, and on top of that, linebackers. I would draft him in the first. This is from my guy G. BPA no matter what. This is from Real Bishop Kang. Appreciate you. Hey, BPA is what he said. So at this point, when we look back at all of this and we say to ourselves, the Dallas Cowboys themselves, if they do decide to draft with the 26th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Quentin Johnson. How would y'all feel about that? You know what I'm saying? How would y'all feel about that? Because I seen you guys react over the fact that he himself, a body catcher, you know what I'm saying? He himself wasn't the guy that everybody was looking at TCU as the end-all be-all, right? People were looking at him, I think he only had like 5 or 6 tubs, right? So heck no. Okay, so give me a poll on that one. You know what I'm saying? I already know you, Scorpio. You want Tanner McKay with the 26th pick. The Cowboys select Tanner McKay. I feel you, though, man. I feel you. Alpha Red says no. Now, here's a little cheat sheet that the Cowboys got from Blogging the Boys. It could be Brian Breezy. You know what I'm saying? Will it be him? Will it be Keely Ringo? And you can make an argument for that, right? You can flat out make an argument about Keely. Now, Andre Carter II, he's more to me a day 2 guy, not day 1. And, that's not a tall table of people banging on it for him. Yes, indeed. Scorpio said, Tanner McKay, baby. Boy, you crazy, boy. You in love with that. He's your cousin. If he's your cousin, I already know. I ain't mad at you, dog.
I ain't mad at you.
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 Yes, indeed. We were once two fans of the same kind. Quick to holler at a quarterback with the same lie, But neither here nor there, man. All right, so here's the thing, though. We can literally make an argument for all of these guys that's on this list right now. And out of this list, who's the best BPA in your mind will be there at the 26th spot. Now, A-Chain, I don't think A-Chain should be at the 26th spot. And this is from Blogging the Boys, but these are guys that they did their research on. And I think that A-Chain can maybe go in the 3rd. With the 90th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Devon A-Chain. You know what I'm saying? Hyatt, we can start stretching out this list. At 26, Hyatt. I don't think that he should be in that room, right? Shout out to you, Al Kareem Turner. Appreciate you. Call me crazy, Law. But I would take Gibbs first round if he's there because we ain't getting him at 58. Hey, if you take Gibbs in the first round, I got something for you. I ain't mad at you. Yeah, definitely.
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you.
Yes, indeed. I ain't mad at you, dog. Because here's the thought track. And I was wrong yesterday. Let me go ahead and correct myself. I was thinking of Dalvin Cooks, and I got him mixed up with Christian McCaffrey. And I said Christian McCaffrey wasn't a top 10 pick, but he went 8th to the Carolina Panthers, so I apologize. I was wrong on that one. Ooh, I was so wrong. But they don't value running backs anymore like they used to. And I don't see even Bijan Robinson being that difference maker far as overall on how the NFL owners view running backs. So he very much so could fall to the 26th spot. Now it will put you in a window of do you go with Bijan or do you go with Jahmyr Gibbs? And a lot of people will go with, hey, what is different on your team? What is the different makeup of your team? And the different makeup of your team is right now we don't have that big burly running back. And I'm not saying that Robinson is that burly running back, but Robinson is a guy that we can all sit back and look at and say, all right, he's a workout warrior. Some people say he's a no-brainer at that spot. I get all of that. And on top of that, when you think of Robinson, oh, this is the wrong clip. Where he at? I got him somewhere in here as a highlight reel. But when you start thinking about it, this is Parsons, though, by the way. Okay, here we go. Just got it mixed up a little bit. Here we go. Yeah, sound effects right there. Brought to you by Law Nation Sports. So when you think of Robinson, in my opinion, this is just my thoughts. And any of these guys that's on this beautiful list, hear me out. Don't shank me with the butter knife. Put it down. We're not asking any of these guys to be day one. Day one guys, day one starters outside of maybe, just maybe, offensive linemen. Everywhere else, we can literally have a person to come in and just do their spot work duties. If all be said, even by Tony Pollard, if all is true that, yes, he's fighting for that bag, he want that big contract, and he's on a 1-year rental for $10 million, right? Give me the $10 million. I ain't mad at you. Give me the $10 million, right? And let me prove to see whether or not I can play in the National Football League for that big bag. It's all in favor for the owners. Just like Saquon Barkley, he's like, shoot, $10 million? Oh, that's how y'all see me? That's how y'all gonna do me in the Big Apple in New York? That's how y'all gonna do me? Y'all gonna pay the quarterback who had only 15 touchdowns? And y'all treating me like I'm nothing? Come on, man. I ain't signing nothing. And now he's put into a corner, and I'm going to see whether or not a team will be willing to pay Saquon Barkley. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, I'm going to have y'all playing at Pelican Bay, you know. But here's the truth of it all, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the whole thought track of running backs in the National Football League, regardless of whether it's Gibbs, Izzy that's down the line, you know what I'm saying? Or even it's H.A., Deuce Vaughn, any of those boys, Kendre Miller, it's somebody that we probably don't even know of that's going to be coming out of the 2023 draft that everybody, mama, uncle, cousin going to be like, man, how in the hell we passed up on Dwayne McBride? He's the best running back in the doggone draft now. You know what I'm saying? Look what he's doing. Because running backs is just a weird number, right? Somebody like, nah, Law, it's going to be Zach Evans or Charbonnet. You know, it's going to be one of those boys. But the reality of it is the owners see that. The owners know that. And news flash. Let me put breaking news on this one, you know? Breaking news. These owners didn't come or become billionaires by mistake, not by chance, right? So they know how to finagle some things around. And Saquon, he probably get his money, right? Now Tony Pollard, he is subject to, we're moving back to Cowboys now, subject to Tony P. Pollard may be sitting back here saying, okay, let me show you what I can do. Week 1. Week 2, week 3, the opening carry is going to be with Tony, and then they're going to split it with Rojo. And there's nothing wrong with Rojo's game as a split back. And whoever we draft, there's no look. I got tape out there of Rojo working the heels. He's working out even more. A change of scenery. Yes, he might be saying to y'all, Hey, I feel y'all. I get it. Y'all may be looking at me as a washed or a has-been, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm the cream or the creme de la creme over here. You know what I'm saying? And Rojo might get back to this form. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. And especially when we start talking about running backs and stuff like this, I know we want money to fall out of the sky. You know what I'm saying? With these picks or what have you, but it's not happening. The Cowboys know how to maneuver and get things around. And one thing I can tell you for sure, now he ran it all the way up. I think it was like a 97-yarder right here, you know. Yeah, he actually ran that one in for a tub. We may be onto something. Or he could just be a camp body, ladies and gentlemen. He could just be that, to be real with y'all. But don't sleep on this, because the running back that you drafted may not even be as good as Rojo. That's just the reality of it, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. We got a super chat. And it's from Robert. He says, run game plus tight end. QB best friend. Yep. Pick up OG Mafi from UCLA or the tight end from Washington, who's 6'9" from Georgia. Pick one or NY. Now, he ain't 6'9", but I get what you said. He's like 6'6", 6'7". And he is a blocking type of tight end. He is a guy. Look, here's what we got to do, and we got to understand, too, as well. Yeah, don't sleep on Malik Davis. Yeah, you're right, Ford. Before I go to that, you see, y'all got me everywhere now. Rico, and I ain't talking about Suave, Dowdle. He might be like, hey, y'all all high on Malik. Wait till y'all see me again. But back to this. We got to stop looking at these draft picks as isolations. No, these draft picks will be inserted in, and they will be part of the solution, not the problem. Because when I did this poll, and I'm gonna use this every day before we draft, on this chart, the roster that is stood right in front of us, are we eligible to win at least, let's say, 10 to 15 games with the current roster that we have now? Put it down in the chat. Let me know how you guys feel. Because even with the tapes that you guys look up with the players out there on the field, you will have to say to yourself, hey, who in the world? I got to find my roster, too, by the way. I can't even find it. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. I think this is the roster. Yeah. Even with this, who you drafting? You're going to start over these guys, right? Who you drafting is going to start over CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, even Michael Gallup, if healthy. Even if you're drafting a Dalton Kincaid, will he actually start over Jake Ferguson? Who you drafting, even at running back, will Bijan Robinson get the first carries? I don't think that will be the case in the scenario, nor even Gibbs. Who we drafting is going to start over Tyler Smith, Tyler Biadasz, Zach Martin, right? Terrence Steele, if healthy, right? Who we drafting? You're going to start over D-Law. Big Jonathan Hankins. You know, who's going to start over him? Dorrance Armstrong, because even in that packet order, I can put clearly Sam Williams in that order, right? Fowler, right? Who's going to start over Leighton Vander Esch? No one. You know what I'm saying? Look, the Cowboy front office literally said that Leighton Vander Esch is better than Bobby Wagner, who had 6 sacks last season. Right? So, look. Who's going to start over Parsons? Who's going to start over Trayvon Diggs? Gilly. Now, even though we got Jordan Lewis right there, technically, that's Bland, right? I see Bland right there. Who's going to start over Bland, right? Who's going to start over J-Ron Kurtz? Who's going to start over Donovan Wilson? DeJuan Jones will start day one. This is for my guy, Ark. I don't know, fam. I don't know. We were this close last season to have Matthew Waletzko starting over Tyler Smith at that left tackle. It took an injury to Tyron, as well, hear me out, put that butter knife down, as well as Matthew Waletzko. It took all of those injuries for Tyler Smith to get the starting spot. Now, granted, this is why we draft, but that's just how it goes. Trench game all day. Now, I love some DeJuan Jones. You can put him on this team, and then you will say, hey, let's fight it out. Let's go through the growing pains. Well, let's go suck. Yeah, it's from Roberto. From the mindset and from the confirmation that we received that he had shoulder issues and he was playing through injuries. So he was injured trying to be out there on the field and make a team in a grown man's sports, and it's not going to happen. But for a majority of the reps during the training camp, he was at the left tackle spot. He was the second in rotation. It was Tyron Smith, Matthew Waletzko. And it got so bad to the point that Joe Philbin is probably the reason why he's gone. Since you've been gone. You could probably put the reason why he's gone because he didn't even like Tyler Smith, right? They were saying that like, hey, he had to earn his stripes, and it could be tongue in cheek, Yeah, he got to earn his stripe. Connor McGovern is getting majority of the starting team reps so far. You know what I'm saying? Chuma Edoga cannot be our starting left guard. BD Gray, you're spitting the truth. Here's the thing. But we know the Cowboys. Yes, indeed. We do know them. So if we pull back up this list and we look at Osiris Torrance, right? We look at John Michael Smith. We look at who else? Steve Avila. We see those three guys right there. They will be suitable, very suitable for a left guard spot. They would be, right? And even John Michael, even if you say, okay, I want him to be our future center because Tyler Biadasz, he's high on himself. He think that, since he Pro Bowl Biadasz, he going to want that bag now. He going to want X, Y, and Z. Yeah. It is what it is. T says he wouldn't take Avila at 26. Yo, you're right. Jordan Davis is licking his chops. Well, Jordan Davis got to get out there on the field with his big self. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Saquon not signing his tag, so Bijan might be going to the Giants. Yeah, and the luxury of the Giants picking, they pick at 25, right? So the Giants saying, okay, they hold the high card. They do. They absolutely do. They hold the high card because, for one, the running back is refusing to sign a $10 million situation. Two, they got a chance and an opportunity if teams decide not to draft Bijan. They can pretty much get a guy that a lot of people are saying who is the next Saquon, right? Which I don't see Saquon and Bijan, right, running similar. They run similar but not the same. Things can be similar, but they don't have to be the same. A Toyota Camry looks just like a Lexus, or a Toyota Camry looks just like a Toyota Avalon, but it's not the same, right? So when you start thinking about those things, yes, a car is a car, Nothing wrong with a Honda Civic, but it's not an Accord, right? You get what I'm going? A Honda looks just like the Infiniti, but it's not the same, So all of these products, they can look the same. They can perform similar, but they're not the same. So it is what it is. But shout out to Bijan. I'm not throwing any shade or salt at the man because clearly if he comes here, he would not ask to be the end-all be-all because we did such a wonderful job of putting people in place where we don't have to reach. We can literally sit still and just get the best player available. For example, a lot of people will poo-poo on Quentin Johnson, right? And Quentin Johnson here, he's not asked to be the number one wide receiver. Even if that could be said the same for Zay Flower. He wouldn't ask to be the number one wide receiver. JSN, he's not asked to be the same. You know what I'm saying? The number one wide receiver here. That Chrysler 300 is not a phantom. Appreciate you, Big Worm. Shout out to you from Texas, man. Big Law. 100K. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank all of you all for your love and adulations for the nation. Thank you guys for your donations and your appreciations and many upon many cash apps that you guys sent. Lil Dallas Cowboys says, Scorpio, but we should draft the QB within the first 3 rounds. I semi-agree with that. I do. But here's what you shouldn't do, Lil Dallas and Scorpio and whoever. You shouldn't reach for one. Now, if he clearly said quarterback BPA, and if it's Hendon Hooker, like let's say, for example, and he's the highest guy that you have there at 58, and you know for sure that you want the defensive tackle guy, right? Let's say, for example, and I doubt it, Drew Sanders is there at 58. You got Hendon Hooker. You will have to know in your mindset that, hey, the best player available, if your tags are not touching, and if you have Hendon Hooker over Drew, then you, my friend, you got to contextualize some other stuff. Will that player be available to you this year? Number one. Number two, what are you trying to do within the confines of your window with this team? Are you trying to win now, or are you trying to win later, or are you trying to figure out how to craft things to do both? And I get what my guy Boss Cowboy Sports, he said that this dude, Drew Sanders, not even the best or his top 7 linebacker or something like that. Not even his top 10, I believe, last night. He got a plethora of other linebackers ahead of him. But I would say here's the situation. Here's the situation with that. Don't overanalyze. The dude had 3 forced fumbles last season, 1 INT, and dog near close to 10 sacks. Granted, if you're saying that a lot of stuff is not popping out on tape, well, you can go back and look at the Mississippi State game. There's other games you can go back and look down the chart line and say, okay, here's where he had multiple tackles for loss. Here's where he had multiple situations where he gained these type of sacks, and he was an impact player flying all over the field for Arkansas in these particular games. Bell says, Brock Purdy, MVP. Well, you see how that went, right? Also, don't water down the aspect of a quarterback going into a system and flourishing, right? Here's the thing. Great coaches, great schemes can mask over a lot of things. And when you play to the strength of your team, then you will see those things. But when you don't, you will tend to overanalyze, overevaluate. I'm not throwing any shade, salt, or anything to Brock Purdy, right? He got injured in the playoff. He beat us, for crying out loud. But you guys got to keep the same energy. If Brock Purdy, because I'm hearing this a lot of times, Brock Purdy, he's better than a whole bunch of quarterbacks. He's better than Dak, right? But in the same breath, if you stand firm on that and you don't stand firm on Cooper Rush being better than Joe Burrows, because he beat Joe Burrows. Cooper Rush better than Matthew Stafford. He beat Matthew Stafford, right? Then you got to keep the same energy if you're going to use the quarterback won the game, right? The quarterback was on the team that won the game, right? So you got to continue to keep that same energy, right? You can't use it and be anecdotal with it, right? I want empirical facts. I want empirical information, right? So don't be that fan that say, hey, because he beat X, Y, and Z, he's better, right? Context do matter, right? So now you have to bring in all of those things, because that will be the situation that you will find yourself arguing with, right? Yeah, BD Gray, I love the way you put it. Purdy didn't beat us. He played in a game San Francisco as a team won. Right. And the whole argument would be the same for even Jalen Hurts. It's such a great thing to be on a team that you can win 2 playoff games and not even throw a single touchdown pass, right? Team. But I get it, right? I get it. You know, but here's what I want to say one more time for even Jalen Hurts. Pay that man $60 million, man. Y'all Eagles, y'all are waiting too long, man. Y'all got to hurry up and pay the guy. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Yes, indeed. What pick does Tampa Bay have? I don't know. Big Facts G, yeah, appreciate y'all so much. If y'all new here, hit that like button, share this content. Let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Let me know if y'all want to continue to go. I see the in the beginning, I see that, the interaction is kind of low. So y'all hit that like button, share this content if y'all want me to continue to go. Let's go. All right, so 60 million, yeah, Paul, yeah. I'm going to have 2 minutes of Purdy talk before I'm out. You know what I'm saying? T. Foster, appreciate you, man. Anyone likes Xavier Valade? I don't know. I don't know about him. I have to look him up, Nick. And I'll do that, Appreciate you, Xavier Holmes, Yeah. So it's here's my thoughts on it. Whoever we draft in this draft, that particular player is coming to a team that finished out 12-5. Normally how the draft works, when you go into the draft in these situations, the team that sucks, right, get the earlier picks. Now, the Eagles, yes, they got 2 first-round draft picks because they set themselves up for it by willing and dealing. Shots out to them, right? But normally in a situation, your team will have to suck in order to get early draft picks. That's just what it is. So that's just how it goes. James Brown, Law, you just got on. What you mean, do you want you to keep going? Laugh out loud. Yeah, y'all want me to keep going? Y'all let me know, man. I know it's the off season. There's not a lot of news out there outside of the teams are being very, 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 very quiet right now on their intentions, right? Devin White, he would be a good situation, good pickup. He's 25 years of age. But a lot of teams don't want to show their hands right now because if you move on a guy like that, it could destroy your draft board, right? And on top of that, some other news, Dak Prescott working out at his crib. You got Zeke in the picture. Those things, yeah, they go hard or what have you. Yeah, you can talk about those things and look at those things and say to yourself, yeah, that's a good number. That's a good look. Yeah, that's a good look, We can talk about that. But 9 times out of 10, we ready for the results. Come on, all of the snickering and laughing over here, Simi Fihoko, we need for you to show up this year. You know what I'm saying? We need for him to show his worth out there on the field. We can talk about Simi. Can he make that extra leap heading into the 2023 season. And I can tell you right now, this doesn't change a thing on how the Cowboys draft. No, they still going to draft the way they draft. Yep. They still going to draft the way they draft. I don't think Semi moved the needle that much, right? Yes, indeed.
In the beginning.
Yo, come on.
Yeah. In
Listen properly.
Listen properly, yo.
the beginning. Yeah. In the
Let me leave that man alone, man. All right, man. I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in to the nation, man. Hey, we got plenty of options. We went over. Let's continue to grind and shine, Cowboy Nation. The name of the game is leaving no stone unturned. Making sure you dot all your I's, cross your T's. Before this team even start the 2023 season, we can look back and say, we are better than what we were last year. I got high hopes, high thoughts about this team. Gilly, I think that his knowledge and understanding of the game will spread upon everybody, as well as bringing on a Brandon Cooks. I do know y'all have reservations on the quarterback, which, right, and naturally, you should have those thoughts, saying that, hey, we've been waiting for 27 years, Lord. And out of the 27 years, 7 of those years, we've been waiting for this number 4 to walk on this ground as if he owns it, right? We're tired of the excuses, right? But perspectives means everything. Jason Garrett was here, right? Majority of those years. And now we have a new shine to it named Mike McCarthy. So that's who we need to absolutely see the fingerprints on with this team. Is him actually moving around the best way possible. Write this down that I said, and I've been saying it for many a moons. When you're up against your struggles, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. Black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim, but don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If worse is bound to happen in spite of all that you do, remember, running from it will not save you. See it through. Even hope may seem but futile. Then with troubles may be beset. Remember, you're facing what other legends have met. Michael Irvin, Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Tom Landry, the list goes on. So keep your head high, eyes all the way through the finish, and see this thing through, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening. I said this earlier, if there's one thing a man should always do, is mainly to himself be true. Never allow someone to change your point of view unless what they bring makes sense to you. Never judge a man by sight alone, nor by the height he has grown. And when speaking, keep it at a moderate tone, because raised voices turn your hearts into stone. You see, in the beginning, it was, how about them Cowboys? We're gonna take over, baby. We run this. Who running? Who running? Huh? The morals of life: live, love, and respect for another. Then there are those who will try to be smart. They would take a decent man to alter his heart, to seek to rip him apart. Those, man, you should never call a friend, because they bend the lies around the truth until it meets their end. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. We about, baby. Yeah. A little later on today, me, Ashley Baker, we're going to be live here from Law Nation Studios. Yours truly. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate you. One love.
Can we check or something? I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make it.
Shout out to you, Roberto. Thank you.